Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that uh, basically I've been thinking about over the past few days or just today. And today, I want to talk about this hypothesis that I have about, uh, what it takes to have good relationships with people and basically. Uh, how in this day and age we have such an advantage uh, because of all of the information that we have available to us, and that's why basically we've been able to see this exponential growth from, I don't know, the invention of the printing press up until now. And basically this theory that I've been thinking about, I don't know, like I was thinking about this in the shower and I just thought that it was really interesting, and I noticed that it's applied to a lot of the things that I found in my life. And basically I noticed that I am at the happiest in my life whenever I spend around 90% of my time, or I don't know, I'm just like inventing proportions here, but basically I've been thinking about this, like whenever I spend a lot of time getting inspired and learning from other people and basically just taking in information, uh, and like basically just like learning. This is what I call basically taking, so like receiving things, and then I spend 10% of my time giving back. So like giving things to people and like basically inspiring other people through the inspirations that I got. Uh, like this is what when I'm the most like the happiest in my life. And I guess there is this imbalance between the 90% and the 10% that it takes, like basically an imbalance between how much it takes for me to be able to give the best like the best inspiration out there. And I think this is such an interesting topic because um, like in this day and age, it's possible for me to get that 90% of receiving without it taking too much effort from other people. So basically, we are making the giving that is scalable. So let's say Tim Ferriss, he has this Tim Ferriss show podcast, and the episodes he only records them once. He has his team edit. Sorry, he has his team edit the podcasts, and then he posts them, right? And he doesn't have to do any extra work. And basically, an infinite number, a theoretically infinite number of people can make use uh, of that content that he put out. And basically, I can fill in my 90% by taking information from people that I don't actually have access to in real life, but I have access to them through the 10% that they put out in a scalable way. And this is the most important, like, this is the key, takeaway here is that, okay, I noticed that whenever I'm giving things to people, I try to give them like usually whenever I'm talking to someone, it's just like a one-to-one conversation, and so that conversation is only gonna help that person in that specific moment, and it's not gonna be able to help this person in another moment, and it's not gonna be able to help uh, several other people who are facing potentially the same problem. And so basically I'm just like, if I just focus my energy on giving things to people in a non-scalable way, then basically uh like the power of that giving that I had is just so diminished as compared to if I do it in a scalable way. And I guess like I mean, this was not deliberate, but I guess this is one of the main reasons that I'm really trying, like to be consistent on this YouTube thing and like truly get it off the ground, because I really want this to be like a scalable way for me of me giving my 10% of information in the best way that I can to potentially more than one person that I'm just talking to one. And basically that makes this imbalance between the 90% and the 10% logical in a way. Because before the world where like before, I don't know, the internet, and maybe even before the printing press, or like all of these ways that like that basically started to become exponentially more powerful. Um, Basically, the only way to basically give was in a one-to-one fashion. Okay, you can, let's say you were a motivational speaker, like let's say you're Tony Robbins in the 1970s. Like the only way that you could have done this is just by filling out, I don't know, maybe like the biggest venue that you could potentially fill out is I don't know, a stadium with, I don't know, if let's say you are Beyonce and like the size of the stadiums that you fill out is 100,000 people. So okay, it's a pretty big number, 100,000 people in one night, but that's still a one-time thing, and it's not recorded, so it's not scalable over time, and it's also not scalable over people. So I think the best way to take advantage of the 10%, like I think this is like the most important shift from the internet, and basically you know how much, like, okay, I'm rambling here, but I think that this aspect of giving and receiving, and basically how you can give only once and have it be scalable over time, and also be scalable over people, makes it exponentially more powerful than just being able to give to one person at one specific time. Because let's say someone is not feeling super good in a specific day, and you give them a pep talk, and this person starts to really like you. They say, oh my god, this person, like, Rita is amazing, she just gave me a pep talk. Next time that I feel sad, I will reach out to Rita and she will give me a pep talk again. But what if, like, we had made that pep talk in a way scalable? I know it sounds horrible, like, of course you don't want to make everything formulaic, but we can have a scalable but imperfect way of sharing inspiration and things like that. But yeah, like, what if, let's say, I had recorded this conversation and put it on YouTube, like Tim Ferriss is doing with the by talking to some people that he finds interesting and putting it on his podcast. I am able to benefit from it. Maybe the other person is able to benefit from it at that point in time, but also in the future when they get back, like if they decide to go back and listen back to that episode. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, honestly, I think this is such a huge perspective shift, because like, I think this explains a lot what has been happening with the internet, and like basically the disproportion between like famous people and really influential people who have millions and millions of followers, and basically, you know, like, it's just such a perspective shift to think about things in this way. And the world, like, is truly on an exponential growth trajectory because of this specific property that basically scaling knowledge and scaling the giving part, even though it only takes, like, let's say, okay, I like let's say that I was instead of like instead of giving only 10% of my time to like dedicating 10% of my life to just giving to people, let's say I was dedicating like 90% of my life giving to people and 10% receiving. Okay, but if I was doing this 90% in the wrong way, basically just doing it in an ineffective way, so just one-to-one, or in a non-scalable way, either over time or over the number of people, and most likely over both, basically, the impact of that 90% of the time would be much less than if I just spend like if I just give away 10%, but this 10% is done in a much more scalable way, either scalable over time, so recorded, so basically it means that we can go back to it whenever we want, and scalable over people, so it can reach more people. And so like this is what's so exciting about the day in this day and age, is that basically we can get away with this. Like we can get away with getting 90% of like spending 90% of our lives just learning and like taking, without like basically this is a positive sum game. So basically like by my taking, like let's say I'm taking 90% of my life, it's not actually affecting the giver. Like the giver only gives once, and basically people are able to take an infinite amount of time, whereas the giver was only just giving something once. And like this is where the power of the internet lies, and books. I mean, it started with books, but even with videos and all of this social media stuff, it makes it so much more accessible, and it makes this this process of exponential knowledge so much faster. Because basically, I just got inspired by listening to Tim Ferriss and Naval Ravikant and all of these super inspiring people. But for them, it didn't cost them anything to just give me this information, because they did it only once. And I was just able to listen to podcasts from like 2019. And if I want to listen to them again, I can listen to them again, right? And I'm still gonna get that information. I'm gonna get refreshers over and over again, without them having to lift a finger to basically enable me to do that. And so it took them the same effort, but basically it's like the outcome is exponential, and we are able to basically take advantage. Sorry. We are able to take advantage of that small input in an exponential way. And I guess this ties back to Naval Ravikant's basically mention of basically he's talking about leverage and the different kinds of leverage. So one of them is media, one of them is code, so software, one of them is people, so like when you hire someone to do something for you, you're using people as leverage. I don't remember. I think there was a fourth one. I don't remember if there was a fourth one. But if there was a fourth one, I don't remember which one it was, and you can comment down below if you found it, because I forgot, and I have to go back to that to listen to it. But honestly, I just thought that this was such an interesting topic, and I really wanted to share. And basically, just to go back to the relationships part, I've noticed that whenever, I think, like one of the determining factors for having long-term relationships with friends and everything. I think with friends it's okay, because you don't spend all of your life with friends, so you can manage just give you can still have an imbalance between. So okay, let me rephrase. So basically, my hypothesis in terms of relationships is that you, like the giver, like basically on both sides of the relationship, uh, both people need to feel like they are giving and receiving an equal amount. And if there is an imbalance uh, between between how much you give and how much you receive, like there is this feeling like basically it just dooms the relationship in a way, because on one end, the person who is giving more is gonna build up some resentment towards the person who's giving less, and the person who's giving less actually be, start likes the person who is giving them more, because they are giving them and like they're inspiring them and they're helping them, and they're not giving them that much back in return. And so basically, it just creates an imbalance, whereas one person like really does not like the relationship is not serving that person very well, but the other person is taking too much from the relationship. So in order for like a relationship, either friendship, I think over the long term, this is really important. But I think this is even more true for like romantic relationships and basically trying to find a life partner, because you know, with your life partner, you're together, and like basically uh, you're the two people who spend like you spend the most time together, and basically for the relationship to work, like both people need to feel that they are bringing the same like the same uh, value to the relationship, uh, in order for the relationship to feel like a true partnership, and where one does not feel like they're giving too much and not receiving enough, and the other person is not actually taking too much and not giving back enough. And I think for friendships, it can be less true, because I mean I think it still applies for sure, but I think it can be mitigated for friendships, because uh, like for example, for friendships you're not spending that much time together, like unless you are the kind of friends that spend 24 hours like 24/7 together. But from my experience, me and my friends, um, like I don't spend that much time. Let's say I spend 2 hours per week with friends, or like let's say 2 hours per day, or coworkers, or something like that. Um, it's still manageable, because as long as you make sure that you have enough time spent on the receiving end, it doesn't have to come from the person that you're giving to. It can come from other sources. Like for example, my sources of receiving information is books and podcasts and all of these things, and I can give back some of this information that I got to people around me who are not that into books and stuff like that. But yeah, I think like the key to having a long-term partnership is to truly find a balance. And this is not to say that the two people in the partnership need to be basically exactly the same people and giving exactly the same nature um, of value. But I think like because that's not possible for one, and probably no one wants to date themselves. So yeah, it would be like you're not looking for someone, like at least I'm not. I'm looking for someone who's different than me, but who can bring the same value that I can bring them, but in a different way. And that's where it's super hard to balance it out, because uh, if you bring value in a different way, then you don't have a common metric to measure by. And uh, usually in relationships, or basically in life, we try to stick by one metric. So let's say I don't know, I'm doing like let's say I'm coding for my friend, and my friend is actually like is not gonna help me with my homework, but actually is gonna give me emotional support when I need it, then it's a fair trade. I mean, like this is not to say like we are trading like this is not like a pessimistic view, as in, oh, you have to give me something, and I won't give you anything unless you give me something. No, this is just like something that I noticed that people like I feel like I'm more connected to people who I feel like are giving me more. So basically, I admire Tim Ferriss, Naval Ravikant, and all of these people because they are giving me so much information. But there is an imbalance in the relationship because I'm not giving them any information, basically in return. So I might admire them, but they have no idea who the heck I am. So and it's the same for friendships, like in real life, because I mean, I don't know. I don't think like I don't think it's like a pessimistic view. I think everyone has something to offer, and basically it's much easier to find the people who want that thing that you have to offer online than it is possible to do it in person. And so basically you just have to uh, make sure, like on your side, that you're giving in the most scalable way possible, so that the people uh, who that information that you're giving out is relevant for can receive it and basically are able to access it. And basically it's like a positive flywheel, whereas it's not like tit for tat, like oh, I gave you my homework and now you have to help me with this. It's like trusting in the general good, that whenever you give something out, you try to give it out in the most scalable way, because you are also getting things from benefiting from someone else who did their giving in a scalable way. Yeah, I hope this some of this makes sense. I mean, for sure, my thoughts are not fully formed, but I just thought that this idea was super interesting, and like just was thinking about it in the shower, and I wanted to share. So yeah, I hope this was not like uh, too rambly or like. Yeah, I mean, I hope this was in some way helpful, even though you know, uh, I'm still working my way through these ideas and trying to find a right, like a good framework to think about this. Anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in today. You can click here to watch my previous video, so the one right before this one, and you can click here to watch my latest video on this channel. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!